Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this first Yin Yoga flow. Just a couple of poses we'll try and I'll upload it. This is the beginning of a flow that is called a beginner flow from Bernie Clark's book. He has a great website, yinyoga.com, with a wealth of information on it as far as Yin Yoga. As always, come out of anything if it doesn't feel right. And I do offer lots of modifications. We're going to start with just a quiet meditation. A little bit shorter since this is a shorter flow. So come to a comfortable seat, cross-legged, one foot in front of the other, or lie back if you prefer, knees bent, inner knees resting together. Hands can be in your lap if you like, or on your belly if you're going to lie back. They can be on your thighs, palms up or down, or by your sides, palms up or down. If you're lying back, they could also be one on your belly, one hand on your heart. Shrug your shoulders up to your ears. Now let them slide down your back away from your ears. Tuck your chin in slightly to lengthen the back of the neck, and let your eyes fall softly shut. Settling into your space, onto your mat. Let go of your day, all the worries that were with it. Let go of this evening, busy things to do, so that this next few moments is just for you, body, mind, and spirit. And begin to notice your breath. Don't change anything, but notice whereabouts in your chest cavity are you breathing. Notice how fast you're breathing. Are you breathing through your nose or your mouth, or a bit of both? So begin to breathe in and back out again through your nose. Pull that air in past the rings of the nostrils. Trace its path as it flows up your nose, down your throat, into your lungs. And then back out that same pathway. Feel the swirl past the rings of the nostrils as the breath exits the body. Notice the difference in temperature there at the rings of the nostrils. The coolness as the air swirls in. The warmth as it swirls back out. Notice how your breath is slowing down, deepening. Start to even out your inhales and exhales. Put a count to 2 or 3, 4 as you pull the air in, and then that same steady count as you send it back out again. Match the numbers to your breath. Don't force your breath to be what you think it should be. And if the numbers don't seem to work for you, you can use this little phrase known as a mantra. I am breathing in. I am breathing out. Match that phrase to your inhales and your exhales. Continue to breathe using the counting or the mantra, and pay attention to your rib cage. Note how it expands and contracts. Now go deeper on another inhale. Pay attention to your lungs. See them with your mind's eye. Virtual sponges that fill up the majority of our chest cavity. Watch them expand. Fronts, backs, the sides, and contract. Send them some gratitude for being healthy, and for all the work they do for you 24/7. This is your yogic breath. It's the main one that we use in Yin. It helps to focus our mind, and it also works as a gauge, letting us know if it becomes ragged that maybe we're pushing something we should never do, or we're in too deep, and then we need to back off or modify. So we can always come back to this most important part of any yoga, and that is your breath. Now if you're lying back, make your way to one side, pause there for a moment. Blink your eyes open and closed a few times. If you're seated, you want to lift your legs, stretch them out one at a time. Maybe give them a little bounce and a rock from the top of the hips. Push through the heels, push through the toes, spread your toes. If you're lying back, push into your mat with one of your hands and help yourself up to a cross-legged seat. You might want to sit your hips on the little quilt that I always have with me. When I teach, it just lifts your pelvis a little bit and helps to tilt it. Just sit on the edge of it. Bring your foot soles together into what's called butterfly pose. You're going to have a diamond shape here on the floor, and your knees are going to fall out to the side. If this causes a little bit of twinging on your knee, or it feels like it's a little bit too strong of a pull, use a block and put that underneath the side of your thigh, and or 2 blocks, and then that can help take some of the pressure off maybe a aching hip. Use the block inside the diamond shape if you prefer. Now take an inhale. Grab my other phone. And on the exhale, start to lean forward. Allow your back to round if it's okay for your back to round. Let your head dangle if that's okay for your neck. And your arms are going to just rest wherever they seem to naturally come. Maybe they rest on top of your legs. Maybe they rest in the diamond shape and you simply let your head dangle like that. Maybe you use the block on your feet and you rest your head on the block. And then your arms just go wherever they seem to be the easiest to relax. Maybe your back is talking to you a little bit today, and so you lean on your forearms and let your head dangle if it's okay for your neck, or just keep it in line with your spine. Close your eyes. Go back to your breath. Another option with a block is set your elbows on it, rest your head in your hands. If your back, low back, shouldn't be rounding, then keep the tummy pulled in and lean with a flat back. Don't pull. My hands are completely relaxed and you can easily just lean. First principle or tattva of yin yoga, there's only 3, is leaning into a pose or coming into a pose to an appropriate depth, your edge. And you're going to notice all kinds of little tugs, and notice it's a place where you just kind of stop. You could go deeper if you pulled, but then you're using muscles and we don't want to do that. So you stay at this edge. It's a little bit of comfortable discomfort, it's manageable. And you find your breath. Try to relax in the face of the discomfort. And the second principle, or tattva, as they are known, is stillness. So physically, you're not backing away unless there's pain. You never stay with any kind of pain. Or unless you can't seem to get your breath to that calm, meditative state. The other component to the stillness is an inner stillness. Listening to your heart beating, riding your breath in and back out. Let your shoulders relax. Wiggle your jaw. Notice if that edge dissipates a bit and you can be invited to relax maybe a little further and you find a new edge. So it's not a stagnant place or a static place. It changes during a pose and from time to time on your mat. And the third principle is time. And now on your next inhale, slowly uncurl your way back up. Exhale, when you get all the way up, leave your legs where they are, lean back on your hands, allowing that blood to rush back into those compressed areas. Set your foot soles down about the width of your mat, the skinny way. I might have to turn my mat next time I do a recording. And then do some windshield wipers. Easy, Nice, slow. Think of the inner knee on one leg, the outer knee on the other, coming towards your mat. Maybe you stretch your legs out, give them a little bounce in a rock from the top of the hips. And then we're going to come into a wide-legged pose called straddle or dragonfly. So open your legs. This is one where you might want to swivel a little bit sideways on your or onto your mat if you like, or face the long way as well if you like. I'm going to add a twist here. So inhale over that right leg, and you're still sitting, your sit bones just on the edge of that rolled up yoga mat or little quilt or towel. Inhale, and then on the exhale, you're going to lean forward over that leg. Same kind of thing. You're just coming to where you feel like you just kind of stop. And for some people, it might be this much. With tight hamstrings, you can feel lots of pull. Know that you can slip your hands underneath the back of the knee, and that'll take some of the pressure off. Know that if you've got a block, or use a rolled up hoodie, another blanket, put it under the back of your knee. And then maybe you can lean forward a little further because the pressure is not so much on the hamstring. Maybe as the minutes tick by, you can remove the block and slip your hands underneath. Maybe it's a fist. Feet are nice and floppy. Both quads are nice and soft. Maybe give them a little squish if you think they're not relaxing. This is another one where you want to keep your tummy pulled in and your back flat if you have issues with low back, disc issues. If your low back is fine, just like in that first butterfly pose, let it relax. Let your head dangle. Don't pull. Breathe in. Breathe out. So time is the third tattva, and that's why I have my old phone here playing music, but also to time us. And we're holding this one for 2 minutes. Often we hold for 3, but because this is a first recording, I am going to just do 2. Also, I'm not doing the full pose because it's not about me, but it gives you an idea of basically what you look like. Inhale your way back up to the center now. Exhale when you get all the way to the center. Inhale again, orienting yourself over your left leg now. And then exhale, move the block under the back of the knee if you used it on the first side. Relax your arms, relax both your legs. If it's okay for your neck, let your head go. Breathe in, breathe out. Remember, you can slip the block away if it feels like your leg can release a little more. Use your hands beneath the knee, a hand in a fist. And if your hamstrings are enjoying a nice, delicious tug and a pull, then maybe you don't have your hands there. Notice there's a twist going on in the low back. Steady breathing in through your nose, back out through your nose. It's a little tricky, but sometimes you might find that you can rest your head on the block, balance it on your shin if that feels nicer, and then maybe you get a better torso and arm and leg relaxation by resting your head. Yin yoga is a very quiet, meditative form of yoga. We're tugging on these connective tissues. We're not stretching, we're tugging on them. And we also work with meridian lines, as I mentioned, in acupressure. And this one's getting our urinary bladder meridian line. It's also getting kidney and liver meridian line. Now inhale your way back up to the center. Exhale when you get to the center. Take another inhale. If some of you feel like you've lost some of the pull on the inside line of the legs, maybe wiggle your legs a little further apart. Let's inhale one more time, and then on the exhale, do the same thing. Rounding forward if it's okay for your spine. The distance is longer, greater on a curved line than it is on a straight line. So if you can curve, you're pulling the round bones of your spine apart a little more than a flat, straight line. But again, if there's disc issues, pull your tummy in and just lean from the hips. This is another one where you can lean on a block. You can use your elbows, rest your head if your head's had enough of dangling. For some of you that rest your head on a block, your forehead, it's nice sometimes to let the arms go out towards the feet. Relax your shoulders. And if that bothers your shoulders, then keep them here. And again, you're not pulling, you're simply leaning. Steady breathing in and out. If you're right onto the floor like this, you can have your head on one side and then be sure that you switch sides. I'll let you know when we're at the halfway point. Which would be about now for those of you that are all the way down. Remember, that's not the be-all and end-all. Our skeletons determine a lot of our flexibility and our ability to move. Some people, because of the position of the pelvic sockets and the angle of them, the femur resting inside them is not going to move. And once we hit any kind of pain, could be bone on bone indication, and you're not going to go any further. That's okay. You can still work to tug on these ligaments. And that does so much good on many levels, not just physical. On your next inhale, slowly bring yourself back up. Exhale when you get all the way up, just like in butterfly pose. Lean back on your hands, don't move your legs, and just enjoy that delicious feeling as the blood rushes through those areas that were compressed. And then help your knees in. That was for 7 minutes with the legs apart. Lean back and go through some nice windshield wipers one more time. When things seem to have settled down, then straighten out your legs. Give them a little bounce, maybe a rock from the top of the hips. And then come to lie down on your tummies. So at first we're going to lie with our elbows out to the side. Stack your hands like that. Make a nice pillow for your forehead rested on your stacked hands. And just lying like this, top of the feet are resting on your mat. Find that natural curve in your low back. So we're going to do a little bit of back bending now. We've done forward bending. So bring your hands down by your shoulder heads and see how your elbows stick up like little grasshopper legs. Your head is off your mat but just barely. Your nose is only a couple of inches off the mat. Relax your bum, relax your legs. Notice that there's a little bit of work here just to hold this much of your upper body off your mat. Shoulder heads, collarbones, and your head. If this feels plenty for your back to work here today for 3 minutes, then stay here. If you think you can do a little bit more of a back bend, slide your arms forward and come to rest on your forearms. Really important alignment here. Get your elbows stacked under your shoulder. Have like a right angle at your elbow eye. You can have your arms parallel with the side edges of your mat here. Palms down, fingers spread. Or you can bring your palms together in prayer. We'll just have 2 options today. And so you have like a triangle shape here, but those elbows are still under your shoulders. Don't let your head drop. Look in front of you about 1 meter. Relax your bum. Relax your legs. Close your eyes. Breathe. If you like, you can put a slight pressure in those elbows. Slight pressure upwards, and even sometimes just a little bit of a pull forward as if you were going to tug yourself along the floor. But just slightly. Steady breathing. We're at the halfway mark here. If at any time this feels not right for your spine, then slowly come down. Turn your elbows out to the side and rest your head on your stacked hands. You can enhance this pose with your breath. Think of your tailbone. Breathe up the back of your spine, right to the base of your skull, and then exhale down the front of your spine, all the way back to the front of your tailbone. Inhale up, exhale down. And if you want to bring it into your neck now, pull your chin in, and then lift your chin up towards the ceiling. Notice how it changes my voice when I do that. Tugging on the ligaments in the front of our neck tend to weaken as we age. So this is a nice way to wake some of those cells up there. Also, all our handheld devices and computer time involved in all aspects of our daily life. Our heads tend to be forward a lot more than 10 years ago even, so this is good for that. Also good for the thyroid gland. But if you feel any dizziness, bring your chin back down into line. Now take a nice deep inhale, and on your exhale, turn your elbows out to the side, stack your hands once more, rest your forehead on those stacked hands. Puff your low back out with your breath. And then you have options as to what release you'd like to do. Just leave your head on your hands, bend your legs at the knees, wave those lower limbs back and forth, windshield wiper style. Or maybe, if your head is on one side, you'd like to pull up one leg alongside you and lie with one bent and one straight, whatever way you're facing. The key question to keep asking is, are you spending your time on the right things? Because time is all you have. That's Randy Pausch thought for today. So just to close from here, turn over onto your back. And just spend a minute, 2 or 3. Take in a deep breath. Exhale it out with a sigh. Do that one more time. Deep breath in. Let it go. Let that yin yogic breath go now. Bend your knees. Drop your knees to one side. Arms can go out to a T. Turn your head to the opposite side. So I'm looking out to my left hand. My knees are dropped to my right. I'll take several breaths here. Bring your knees back up to the center. Push into those foot soles, lift your hips into the air, and then drop your knees slowly over to the other side. That would be over to the left. Turn your head and look to the right. Breathing. Inhale those knees back up to the center. Push into your feet one more time. And then set your hips down, bring your knees into your chest, wrap your arms around your shins, give yourself a hug, rock over your spine, massaging. And then let those legs float on down, stretch out, maybe cover up with a hoodie or a quilt. Once more, deep breath in. Let it go with a sigh. Relax onto your mat, letting go of whatever happened or didn't happen. Filling your body with a warm, healing light of relaxation. Float away to a happy place or stay within. But whatever you choose, take rest for about 2 minutes on your own. And hopefully I will have a longer full hour session for you in the coming days. Namaste.